time we were in Indonesia in October,
Terakhir kami datang ke Indonesia bulan Oktober 15.
we arrived home on Monday evening,
Kami sampai di Amerika hari Senin malam.
and after a month of doing spiritual things, my husband likes to do something physical.
Dan setelah melakukan perkara rohani, suami saya biasa olahraga.
And so for 4 days he was raking leaves.
Jadi 4 hari nggak habis-habisnya dia nyapu halaman, saudara. Halamannya besar 2 hektar.
And he never had any signs or symptoms of any kind of a heart problem.
Karena dia tidak pernah punya tanda-tanda gejala masalah jantung.
And so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, on Thursday he began to feel some pain in his chest.
Dia sapu halaman itu 2 hektar, ya, hari Selasa, Rabu, Kamis, hari Kamis terasa sakit.
And so he quit for the afternoon,
Dia berhenti di sore hari Kamis.
and he felt better Friday morning, and he went out again.
Pagi hari rasanya sehat lagi, dia sapu halaman lagi.
But this time it got worse.
Tapi sayangnya hari Jumat itu kondisi memburuk.
And the pain began to go into his arms.
Dan bahkan rasa nyeri jantungnya ini menyebar ke tangan.
Later in the evening it began to come up higher.
Dan sore hari Jumat itu bahkan nyerinya sampai naik ke kepala.
So we called our assistant pastor, and he said, "I'll be right over."
Kami telepon pendeta muda kami, dia akan datang, dia janji.
And we were still on jet lag, and I wasn't ready, and so Pastor Phil said, "I'll take him and you follow."
Karena saya masih jet lag, kami juga masih lelah, jadi Pastor Von inilah yang membawa Pastor Kerem ke rumah sakit.
And that was the grace of God for his wife,
Dan itu sebetulnya kasih karunia Tuhan bagi istrinya Pastor Paul.
because I didn't have to see what came later.
Karena saya tidak perlu melihat apa yang terjadi setelahnya.
It takes 20 minutes to get to our little hospital,
Dari rumah sampai rumah sakit 20 menit,
and 20 minutes later when they were giving him an EKG,
dan 20 menit kemudian ketika EKG sudah dilakukan,
he said, "I think I'm going to pass out."
lalu Pastor Kerem ngaku, kayaknya aku mau pingsan dulu ya, dia bilang gitu.
Pastor Phil saw his head go back, his mouth go open,
Jadi Pastor Von ini yang bersaksi. Pastor Kerem ke belakang kepalanya, mulutnya terbuka.
he went into cardiac arrest,
Dan dia kena serang jantung.
and he clinically died.
Secara medis, dia mati.
And a fast-thinking nurse got the paddles, and there were 10 people in there helping him.
Ada perawat yang segera cekatan, dia ambil semua peralatan, ada 10 orang menolong.
He woke up, he was joking with my assistant pastor,
Dan Pastor Kerem kembali sadar, dia berkelakar kepada Pastor Von tadi,
and he died again.
lalu dia mati lagi.
They brought him back.
Tetapi para perawat berusaha mengembalikan nyawanya.
He was awake, talking,
Dia bangun lagi, sanggup bicara,
and he died again.
lalu mati lagi.
3 times.
Jangan ketawa, saudara. 3 kali.
And I want to say that what you see on TV when they bring people back from having CPR,
Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu pernah nonton televisi ataupun pernah lihat di layar lebar ada orang kena serangan jantung lalu dibantu pertolongan pertama CPR,
it's not like you see on TV.
itu bohongan,
It's
tetapi lebih parah sebetulnya.
It's not pretty.
Karena mengerikan sekali CPR itu.
And they have to press very, very hard.
Karena tindakan CPR itu sebetulnya menekan dengan sekuat tenaga.
Because they need to get the blood and the oxygen to the brain, to the heart, and to the other organs.
Karena tujuannya adalah dari CPR, darah dan oksigen harus kembali mengalir ke kepala, ke otak, ke jantung, dan organ tubuh lain.
My husband was then air flighted by helicopter to another little hospital.
Setelah tindakan CPR selesai, suami saya diterbangkan ke rumah sakit lain.
He had 100% blockage in his right artery.
Dan ternyata ada penyumbatan 100% di pembuluh darah kanan.
They fixed that.
Setelah diservis,
But as a result of the compression from bringing him back to life,
sekarang masalahnya adalah akibat atau side effect dari usaha CPR tersebut.
he had 5 fractured ribs.
Tulang rusuknya retak ada 5.
He had a torn spleen.
Dan juga limpanya itu terluka,
And he had a hole in his diaphragm.
robek gitu ya, lalu diafragmanya bolong.
I said it wasn't pretty,
Itu sebabnya mengerikan saya bilang tadi.
but I'm eternally grateful to that nurse who helped to bring him back to life.
Tapi walaupun kesel sama itu perawat, diapain gitu ya, diinjek kali ya.
Now-
Tapi juga saya bersyukur ada itu perawat.
I wasn't complaining,
Jadi saya nggak komplain lagi deh.
but he was in a great deal of pain.
Walaupun begitu, suami saya kesakitan luar biasa setelah CPR.
He had a lot of internal bleeding,
Ada pendarahan internal organ.
and so he was then transferred to another
Itu
hospital.
sebabnya alasan mengapa ditransfer ke rumah sakit lain.
And one of the nurses before he was transferred,
Dan ada perawat yang berkata sebelum suami saya ditransfer,
she said to my husband, I know this is terribly uncomfortable for you,
dia berkata, pasti bapak rasanya nggak enak banget.
but you should not be here to be able to talk to us about how uncomfortable you are.
Tetapi sebetulnya bapak ini seharusnya secara medis nggak bisa ngobrol-ngobrol sama kami saat ini.
And she said to me, if you want to know what should have happened to your husband, go down the hall.
Dan dokter berkata kepada Miss Betsy, kalau kamu mau lihat apa yang seharusnya secara medis terjadi kepada suamimu, kamu pergi tuh ke lorong.
There is a man on a respirator, and he's basically a vegetable and will never come off of the respirator.
Karena di lorong itu ada seorang yang lagi dirawat, sedang pakai alat bantu pernafasan, dan dia itu sebetulnya udah setengah mati. Kalau dicopot pasti mati, dan dia nggak bisa bergerak, lumpuh 100%.
So what happened to this man happened to my husband.
Seharusnya Pastor Kerem itu kondisinya setelah dibantu CPR kayak orang tersebut.
In the emergency room, they were starting to put a respirator down his throat.
Di ICU itu mereka berusaha memasukkan selang alat bantu pernafasan masuk dari tenggorokan.
And he woke up and started talking.
Baru mau dimasukkan itu selang, Pastor Kerem mulai ngomong.
And what I want to share with you is a series of miracles.
Jadi yang saya ingin bagikan kepada Bapak Ibu semua, ini ada mujizat beruntun.
We were only 4 days home from Indonesia.
Bayangkan kami baru pulang dari Indonesia 4 hari.
This heart attack could have happened in Indonesia.
Mujizat pertamanya, bisa saja serangan jantungnya di Indonesia, belum tentu dokter secekatan itu.
It could have happened on the airplane.
Yang kedua, yang lebih parah bisa juga terjadi di pesawat.
It could have happened in our home
Yang ketiga, bisa juga serangan jantung terjadi di rumah
or in the ambulance.
atau di ambulan.
But it happened in the emergency room.
Tapi untungnya serangan jantung terjadi di ICU.
That was the only reason he was alive.
Itulah satu-satunya alasan mengapa Pastor Paul Kerem tetap hidup, karena serangan jantungnya di ICU.
Because a nurse immediately got the paddles going.
Di ICU ada perawat, ada pacu jantung, kejut jantung yang tersedia.
So now we were dealing with my husband having to have chest tubes on both sides to drain all of the internal bleeding.
Lalu setelah bantuan CPR itu, tadi saya saksikan ada pendarahan internal di organ dalam. Itu sebabnya dimasukkan selang-selang internal untuk mengeringkan.
And so he needed surgery.
Karena itu diperlukan operasi kedua.
And we still had to deal with the fact that there was a hole in his diaphragm.
Dan juga kita perlu membenahi ada bolong dalam diafragmanya.
And the doctor told me 3 times that hole will not close on its own.
Dan dokter sudah bilang kepada kami, bolongnya terlalu besar, tidak mungkin menutup sendiri.
And that he will need surgery at a later time. So that was hanging over our head.
Jadi beberapa hari setelah itu harus ada operasi berikut. Jadi kami ini betul-betul penuh dengan masalah.
And I just want to share with you that 6 weeks later,
Tapi saya mau saksikan 6 minggu setelah peristiwa tersebut.
when we had another CAT scan,
Waktu kami lakukan CAT scan,
when we went to the surgeon,
kami datangi dokter bedah.
the surgeon said that the hole was minuscule or microscopic.
Lubangnya dokter berkata mengecil sehingga ukurannya mikroskopik, artinya sangat kecil sekali.
And the surgeon said to my husband, "You have no idea, you have no idea, you have no idea."
Dan dokter bedah tersebut bilang kepada suami saya, "Bapak nggak tahu betapa besar mujizatnya. Betapa besar mujizatnya."
So God has touched my husband.
Tuhan menjamah suami saya.
We went to the cardiologist right after that.
Setelah mujizat tersebut, kami pergi ke dokter jantung.
We asked him, "What kind of heart damage does my husband have?"
Saya tanya, "Dokter, sekarang jantung ini seberapa parah kondisinya? Harusnya parah kan?"
He said, "Minimal."
Dokter jantung bilang, hanya rusaknya sedikit sekali.
My husband, he told us that my husband has something that only 1 out of 150,000 people have.
Karena dokter berkata, dokter jantung, suami saya punya kondisi, dan kondisi ini hanya terjadi 1 dari 150.000 orang.
He was born with a very, very tiny right coronary artery.
Karena suami saya terlahir dengan kondisi ada pembuluh darah koroneri itu, pembuluh darah ini sangat-sangat kecil.
But the doctor said that he thinks that's why the minimal damage occurred when the
Pastor Kerem ini tidak mengalami kerusakan jantung terlalu berat, oleh karena sejak kecil dia sudah punya pembuluh darah yang memang terlalu kecil, sangat kecil dari normal.
After all those years, the heart had adjusted to only sending a small amount of blood flow to that artery.
Sehingga sejak lahir sampai senior ini, jantung tersebut sudah terbiasa dengan pasokan darah yang sangat kecil tersebut, tidak seperti yang normal.
And so when the heart attack happened, it was only minimal damage.
Sehingga waktu serangan jantung itu terjadi, jantung tersebut sudah terbiasa dengan kondisi tersebut, sehingga tidak mengalami kerusakan yang seharusnya orang normal alami.
And so both of the doctors, the surgeon, there is no need for surgery.
Jadi ada dua dokter yang mengungkapkan. Yang pertama dokter bedah, tidak perlu dioperasi.
That was another miracle.
Itu pun mujizat runtunan berikut.
And the doctors, he said, "We don't need to see you for a year."
Bahkan para dokter berkata, nggak perlu cek lagi selama setahun.
The cardiologist said, "We don't need to see you for a year."
Dokter jantung juga berkata, nggak perlu cek lagi selama setahun.
It's a miracle.
Ini mujizat yang luar biasa. Semua kemuliaan hanya bagi Tuhan. Bapak Ibu, ada yang tahu Alkitab saya di mana?